And we have such great teachers. We really do. And now we've got another one coming in right now. Brenda Lanigan. Loving her. Hello, Brenda. So Brenda has 25 years of experience in a lot of different complementary therapies as well as holistic lifestyle. She is a wealth of knowledge in so many different things, but she supported individuals with mental health and addictions when she was in the nonprofit sector for over 10 years. And she has a different approach. She works with color. She combines color with various holistic modalities, infuses them with lots of love and encouragement support, as well, we do have humor. Brenda will give you humor for sure. So Brenda, thank you so much for joining IAUSM, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you. I actually wore color today.
Yep. So what is the meaning of the aqua? For me, that's an aqua color. What is that? Is that my right? Because I can't, what people like
Yes.
different versions of colors. So I would think that's more of an aqua.
It's communication. So it's really good for communication and speaking your truth and different things like that. So it's
And what's
also
red?
very
And what's red?
Red is motivating. It's to get you going. And if you look at the difference between like red and orange, red gives you the kick in your pants to get you there, and more orange is more of a, let me take you on a journey and we're just going to go this way. So red gets you going in a very powerful way.
Awesome. So if you're ever going to be speaking as a speaker, you
Yeah.
want to wear red.
Especially if you're uncomfortable doing it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. That too. So amazing. So thank you for joining us. You're talking today to us about living in color.
Yeah.
And what brought you to that? What brought you to just focusing your attention on color?
Well, it started over 20 years ago. Excuse me. My mom passed away at the age of 51 with cancer. And after she passed away, that same evening, I stepped outside and there was a double rainbow in the sky. And it stayed there for over 2 hours.
Wow.
And it wasn't till last year that I connected what I do with color to that sign that's like, hey, colors are really good, and this is something that you're going to be doing. And when I started my holistic journey, that was the start of it, to find out different options to help people that are suffering from cancer or different diseases. That started my research and all the wonderful things that I've learned along the way, and color was one of them. And I do color light therapy, which is an amazing tool to be able to really focus colors on specific parts of the body, which the body uses because it recognizes color, because it is a vibration and helps us heal on all different levels.
So you're saying that if we wore certain colors in certain parts of our bodies,
Yes.
so what would I wear on my legs to melt my butt?
That is a very good question. I haven't found the secret to that, but yellow's really good because yellow detoxifies, so it can get things moving. So yellow's always
roll
good.
around in yellow. Okay. So so what you're saying basically, without me being a comedian, is so certain people are challenged with certain ailments or feelings in their body.
Yeah.
They can then wear certain colors on that part of their body, and that should be able to help them because their body recognizes that color.
Well, they don't have to wear it on certain parts of their body. Like if you think of it in its most basic form, color therapy, if like think of when you were back in high school and you were having a bad day, you reach for your favorite hoodie or your favorite outfit. That's color therapy at its basic form, because whatever color that was made you feel good. It was comfort for you. And that's what color therapy is all about. Now, I use lights in one of my practices and use specific lights on different areas of the body, but even just wearing a color that really makes you happy is really good for you. And eating colors. Eating colors is huge because it's all vibration. Each color is a different vibration, and our bodies recognize that and use it where it needs to in the body.
That's amazing. So would you eat a rainbow? That's what someone's just come up with, eat a rainbow. So if you,
Yep.
is there certain, are you able to help people with say, you know, you need to eat more orange food or you need to eat more red food? And is in any of your courses about, or the ones you're going to be bringing in, do they teach them how to sort of pick the colors of food? I don't know. I'm just grasping now of what that, how they find their colors.
Absolutely. My free gift will kind of go into that as well because it gives it's a color breathing exercise, but you can use the same explanations because each color is explained on what it means so that if you're lacking in that, you can eat those specific colors in order to boost that in your body.
Right. So then it's not, so when someone say eats a lot of greens, thinking that that's, you know, going to give them everything that they need because they're eating all the greens, right? Because we're always vegetables, 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 which mostly come in green.
Right.
So would they then be like, wait a second, you need to add more this and that and this other color? And because you normally people would think as long as I'm eating my greens, I'm healthy.
Right. Well, there's the whole spectrum. We got the whole rainbow of colors. And even though green is good, green is balance, it's good for change, it's good for all sorts of different things. You've got your reds, which are giving you energy. It helps you stand in your personal power. Orange is really good for creativity. So if you've got a block, if you're a writer or an artist or anything that you're like, I need some ideas, I need some creativity, bring in that orange because that's really
Eat
going
a
to help.
carrot. Eat a carrot.
Yeah, eat some carrots. Carrots are always good. Yellow. And for everybody, get out in the sunshine because the sunshine has all the rainbows of color. It has all our invisible colors, and we need that. For anybody that has snow in the wintertime, it's like, oh my goodness, the sun in the springtime. And it's so nice to see because we get seasonal affective disorder from not having enough sunshine. So stepping outside, facing towards that sun and just breathing in that sun does a world of good, even if it's just for a minute a day. If you can do it a couple times a day, it will just change your life because it's so important to get all those colors in, and the sun is a wonderful way to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you say that everyone should be living a, you know, a holistic lifestyle. What does that mean to you?
Living a holistic lifestyle means getting back to nature. We are just so busy, and I found that even being a holistic practitioner and being in the nonprofit for 10 years, working with people with mental health and addictions, and knowing self-care and all that sort of stuff, that you get in a pattern and you're in your flow and you're doing what you need to do and you do the self-care, but you really don't look around. You don't stop and you don't look around and you don't see all the beauty that is around you every second of every day. And just to take those few moments, it doesn't have to be a long time. And it's just, what can you see today? Step outside and try and find the smallest detail that you can see. And just think for a second, think of the perspective of you could have gone through your life and gone around your day, but all these things are going on behind in the background. And just to take and be aware of these little things that are going on, it's just amazing. And be aware of the
You
uh
remember when we were kids? When we were kids, right? When we were kids, everything was amazing, right?
it
Everything was
was.
like, whoa, I just saw a bird. Yikes,
Yep.
what's that snow, right? Like, so everything was like crazy, right? It was just amazing. You could sit there and stare at nothing for so long and just be so amazed by it.
Well, it was funny the other day, I took my granddaughter for a walk, and she's 2. So we stared at a potato bug that was walking on the sidewalk for like 5 minutes. And she's like, "Where's it going, Nanny?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Let's take a look and see, you know." And then she's like, "It's coming towards me." And I'm like, "Well, there you go, you know." So we just watched it, and then came another one. And so it was just fascinating. And we could have gone throughout our day without noticing that, but there's just so much.
Adults are like that. Adults are like that.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, I was walking home from school and I looked on the sidewalk because we used to walk. There was no buses. So we walked and there was this bug on the ground. And I, you know, as kids are watching this bug, and it even actually went around this corner. So I'm like going around the corner. And of course, I was only probably like 5 steps away from where I was supposed to be. But when I looked up, I was like, had no idea where I was because I had been following this bug. And I think I horrified myself because it was around Halloween. And as I was lost on this street, probably about only 5 feet away from where I was supposed to be, this guy came down the street. I think it was Halloween because he had those glasses on where the eyes did one of these. So you can imagine I'm feeling lost and this guy's walking by me with these slinky eyes. And I was like, horrified, running. I found my way home pretty fast. But I guess where I'm going with this is that, you know, we don't realize, and I tell this to every single client that I ever get, is that we live well, unless you're aware, you're living 97% of your life on autopilot.
Yeah.
You are simply a human doing.
Yeah.
Because you're just doing the same thing over and over again, and you're not paying attention. You're not being.
Absolutely. I 100%. And that's what all holistic lifestyle is about. It's like, get out in nature, just appreciate all the wonderful things that are out there, eat rainbows of foods, and be kind to Mother Earth.
And the miracles are still going on. Just because you're older doesn't mean they're not there. The miracles are still miracles.
Oh, miracles are everywhere and they're happening all the time. And we just don't stop to take a look at them.
Yeah. So definitely get involved with the earth and everything around us. That's absolutely. So you've got here about why self-care is so important.
Well, as I mentioned before, when I worked in nonprofit, I'm a social service worker, and I got massages. I knew all about self-care, so I did this on a regular basis. And when I retired from nonprofit, I didn't realize until then how stressed out I really was and how burnt out I was. And it's kind of scary because and I knew I had the information, but so many people are just like, let's plow through. I got to get through this, and just bulldozing through, instead of the universe is like, sit still for a minute, just take a breath and sit there. You don't have to move anywhere.
I know, I'm so guilty of that. Yes.
And breathe and just collect yourself and see what's going on. You don't have to plow forward. And that's what I like to share with everybody now, because you can't see the forest for the trees a lot of times. It's like, well, if I just do this, then I can get through this. And it's like, it's not about that. The universe is going to be bringing out the bat soon if you don't sit yourself down and just take a moment or two.
Absolutely. We're living 50 times more experiences in a day than our ancestors ever did. Like, I mean, just think about what we try to do in a day. Like, so I try to think about what I do in a day. And as a woman, like, I know that, you know, men and women are different. I know we've been kind of beating up on the guys, but men and women are a little bit different because women are gatherers, right? We're used to like holding the kid here, picking the rice field, you know, at the same time we're cooking dinner. So we're used to doing everything at the same time. That's who we are, right? Men are from way back hunters. You know, they're very single focused, right? Which is the way that they need to be. So it's like deer, hunt, kill. Like they're just very single focused. And which is great, because if you've ever asked your husband, you know, while he's watching the hockey game to do something, he's going to get annoyed because his focus is here, right? So you need to like not ask in that moment, right? Because he's here. So it's interesting how, but we as women, we can just walk into a room and go, that's been moved. That's been moved. I can cook dinner and know, wait, how did that get there? Right. So we can do that, but men can't do that. Men don't do that because they're just not wired that way. So it's about understanding that as women, we don't have to do it all. And I find myself, even myself, I know everything that we say, and yet I will work 17 hours, especially building IAUSM. I will work 17 hours. And then that night that I will take off for myself to do nothing, I feel like, shouldn't I be doing something?
The guilt sets in and like, you're not doing enough. You're not doing enough. And what are you doing sitting down? You know, like there's other stuff that you need to be doing. It's almost like a badge of honor. Oh, I got my list as long as my arm done today. And I've got this much of a list to do tomorrow. And you know, I'm doing good. And it's like, no, that's not what it's all about.
No, and I get more done when I rest.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you have time for downloads and messages from source that you don't get because you're running around like a chicken with its head cut off trying to do instead of be.
When you're running around and source is trying to give you a message, you're like, can you just hold on to that for a second? I'll be with you.
And then it gets tired and it's like, I'm going to bring the bat out if you don't sit yourself down because I'm tired of waiting for you. And I've had that happen. It's like I have been laid out flat and my back has seized up and I wasn't able to move. And I had
because you'll get forced.
Kids.
If you don't do it,
yep,
you'll get forced to do it.
Oh, you do. Yep. And as soon as I recognized that, within an hour of making the decision and committing to it, my back was fine.
A lot of our chronic pain is really just not paying attention to ourselves.
Absolutely.
You know, it's amazing. The one message that I'm going to say, let's put first, I always love giving some strategies here, but the one thing I'm going to say and see if you agree with me is like, you got to be first.
Yes.
You know, women are awful for putting themselves last. They're right under take out the garbage. Like, it's like they'll do every single thing first and then put themselves last, like they're some kind of martyr.
Yep.
Right. Look at me. I'm a hero. And that is the worst thing to do. I think that's one of the first things I always tell people is like, no, you have to be first, even if your children are close, because that's horrifying for a mother. What do you mean I have to be first? Above my children? No. Right. But at the same time, it's like, but if you feel good and if you're healthy, how much better a mom could you be?
I was just speaking to a friend of mine today who is, the universe got out the bats and she's been home. She's been running and doing like hours and hours. I think she put in 156 hours in 2 weeks. And it's like, that is ridiculous and it's insane. And now she's laid out. She's feeling a little bit better today. But I'm like, the only one that's suffering here is you. You're working and working and working, which is a busy time. I understand that. However, you're not honoring the body because she doesn't like saying no. And I said, well, you're saying no to your body, which
yeah, you're saying no to you all the time. Yeah. All the time. And you can't afford not to be. I think one of the biggest objections you always hear from women is, I don't have time. So, you know, when there'll be people that join IAUSM and then they'll send me a message and go, I really, oh my God, there's so much good straight and stuff in here. I really want to take all of this, but I don't have time. And my response is always, you don't have time not to. Like, you don't have time not to put yourself first and give yourself, 10 or 15 minutes. Because if this was important to you, you would do it. Right? If it was important to one of your children, you would make them do it.
Mm-hmm. Priorities.
Right? But for some reason, when it's for ourselves, we're like, I can do that later. Like, are we living an immortal life here all of a sudden? Do we have 3,000 years to wait to like help ourselves? If we do, go ahead, but at the end of the day, we've got this, like, in this body, we're here for a certain amount of time and later, just eventually there's no more later.
Well, your body gives you warning signs. And if you don't listen, the body's like, I'm done now. We're done. I'm not moving anymore. And you're not going to push me anymore because I'm done.
Fibromyalgia. Where the heck did that come from? but there was no fibromyalgia when I was a kid. That's not even a real thing. So when I work like with my people, maybe you help people too. So when I work with my people, it's getting rid of fibromyalgia.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually so much stress and strain and energy trapped in the body and all of the stuff that when we start to embrace it all and really put everything back where it's supposed to be, all of that is gone.
Yeah.
And it's because it's these people who just don't pay attention to themselves and they make themselves last and they push and they push and they push and they push until their poor little bodies go, I'm done.
Yeah. And that's not where we want anybody to be.
Right? Absolutely. So colors is a great place to start. Your food with colors, definitely paying attention to what you eat, getting sun.
Even the colors in your environment. What kind of colors, like you're in your bedroom, conducive to sleep? So if you've got any of the hot colors, which are red, orange, and yellow, probably not too good to have in a bedroom as walls, because you're not going to sleep. You're not going to have a peaceful sleep. So just even things like that, just take a look around and see what colors are in your environment, if any. Some are just maybe grays. You know, it's very neutral. Bringing in some splash of colors, like in pillows or blankets, things like that can do amazing things, or bringing in some flowers. It's a wonderful pick me up and it makes you smile.
Colors are great. Thank
They
you
are.
so much. Thank you so much. So you've got this great color breathing exercise that's in the loop bag, which is great. I think some people already kind of got some strategies. They're probably looking around their houses now. I know when you were saying that, I'm like, I've got every color going on here though, but I was just gonna have I got all the colors covered here? So definitely you want to make sure you've got a nice colorful life. You want to check your food. That's what I'm gathering from all of this. So checking your food, making sure there's a good various of colors. Coming in, taking Brenda's course in colors is a great thing. And are you going to be running a group in IAUSM?
I will be, yes. That should be set up within a week or so.
Great. And what is that going to, is that going to be all around colors as well?
It will be. There will be definitely colors talked about in there, because I'm all about colors. And I don't mean in the, somebody said this one day and I'm like, I never even thought of that. But Skittles, not part, even though Skittles are great. That's not the rainbow of food I'm talking about.
What about Smarties? Smarties and Skittles? No.
Exactly. No M&Ms either. Fruits and vegetables, people.
Like, oh, look at all these red. Eat the red ones last. All the
Yeah.
red. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You're amazing. And you know, I want to put out into the world too that we have some teachers here. We have a lot of amazing teachers here, but we have a few of our teachers that really, really step up. I could never have done some of the things that I've done with IAUSM without the support that I get. And, you know, for instance, you know, this week I had a really like crazy day. And before I knew it, you know, I had spoken to Cynthia. Cynthia really helped boost me up. And then she talked to Julianne and Julianne called me, and then I spoke with Brenda. So it's like they give me what I need to stand up, you know, and stand up and do what I need to do. And sometimes, and this is how the world is changing, you know, trying to be that solopreneur all by yourself, you know, being alone on an island, those days are over. Those days are over. And it really takes courage, I believe, strength to be able to hold your hand. This was a big lesson for me because I've always been a loner and done that stuff by myself. So this, you know, IAUSM has been a huge learning experience for me, to be able to lean on other people, to be able to ask for help. You know, that's, you know, I need help with this. And because normally I'm like, oh, I got this, I can do it. And I'll just like work 24 hours a day. Right. So, it's been an interesting learning experience for me to be able to just say, okay, you've got this, and not panic. once I hand it over. So it's been an amazing thing. So yes, delegation. I've got like Monique and like just some people who have just, they check in on me constantly. And what can we do for you? And how do we, how can we support you? And I just want to give you a shout out right now, Brenda, and say thank you for being part of that, and your support and your help and your just friendship. We've
Oh, you're
become new
welcome.
friends in IAUSM. I've met some amazing people. And on my vision board, back when I was telling the story of how IAUSM started, on my vision board, I had written "Big Love" in letters. That was actually, it wasn't a vision board, it was a whole wall in my house. And I had written "Big Love" was something I was looking for. And I was actually looking for big love in a relationship. I haven't been in a relationship in several years. So I was looking for a new relationship, big love. I had no idea about IAUSM at that time. And I had no idea how the universe, being a manifester, I never had an idea of how the universe was going to listen to what I was asking for. So when I asked for big love, I ended up with IAUSM and so many loving relationships. Like this was not even in the wheelhouse of what I was asking for, but it was so much better. Like, so, I got all this amazing big love in my life every day now with all the great people that I know. And, it's just, it's a beautiful gift from the universe, like for sure. So thank you, Brenda, for being a part of that.
Thank you for creating such an awesome community and opportunity for all of us to gather here. It's
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you. Woohoo. Thanks so much.
Oh.